Hey everybody, it's Dan Greer from Leading from the Middle of the Pack, and today we're going to be talking all about defining success and how to help others define success too. So hopefully you got your notebooks out. Hopefully you're in a place where you can take some notes because we're going to be covering some huge key topics here. If you're listening to this podcast while you're driving, I'm going to encourage you to like mentally log some of this stuff in your brain as you're going. If you're doing something else where you're listening to it, otherwise, if you get the opportunity to take some notes, get your notebooks out and take some notes. Like I've got mine out right here. Boom, I'm ready for it. Got notes on it, all ready to go. So anyways, cue theme song. We'll be right back in just a minute.
The big question is this: how are leaders like us, who aren't necessarily in a management position, who go out and get our hands dirty, who are ready to answer their calling from God to lead, who are driven to learn and grow, gain the trust and respect of those around us, to actually be heard while not coming across as an authoritative prick? These are the questions, and this is the podcast that will give you the answers. Hi, my name is Dan Greer, and welcome to Leading from the Middle of the Pack.
Awesome! So glad that you guys are still here. So today we're going to be talking all about defining success and like, what does success look like to you? So one of the big things that like I come up with and that whenever I get into like what success is that I kind of think about like, what does success look like to me? Because success looks different to all of us. It's going to look way different to me than it does to my wife or my kids or half of my customers, right? Success to me might be $1 billion or $500 million or $1 million or right. Like we don't know what success necessarily looks like if it's money driven. Okay. Success might be having all the time in the world to do whatever you want to do and not having any responsibility at all. For some people who aren't driven, success is watching TV all day long. For some people who absolutely love reading, success is reading 150 books a year, right? Reading like a book a day, a book every other day, whatever. So success can be defined in a bunch of different things to us. And so let me kind of tell you a little bit about like how I define success, because I think that that's going to help you define it. And then we're going to break it down into like what success looks like to all of us. So first off, success to me is being able to show up and deliver when I say I'm going to. All right. And it's also being able to over deliver. So not just give people what they expect, but go one step further and go even more than what they expect and over deliver to them. All right. Success is being a loving husband, a great father, being there for my kids and my wife as they need me. I say that as I'm recording this downstairs in our studio at the moment, in my like office, dungeon hole, whatever you want to call it. And they're upstairs doing their thing, getting ready to go spend the day with them. But like that's success to me, is being able to be there for them, being able to balance work and life and combine them and make it one thing. Everybody says you have to separate them. Why? Success to me is merging them, right? Keeping them all together. Success for me is also being like known. It's important for me personally to be able to help others and to be known about for that, right? So like Tony Robbins is ultra successful in my eyes, not because he's worth $8 billion, not because he makes $8 billion a year in his companies, but because of how many people he serves and because of the fact that he's known across the world for what he does. I want to be the same way, right? And so that means a lot to me as well. That's success to me as well. Success does have a little bit of a financial aspect to me. And honestly, success to me financially is not what you would think. It's not a number amount. It's not like, oh, I got to make $1 million. I got to make $100 million. Oh, I got to make $10 million a year, right? Like it's not about that at all. Success is more about being able to live without worrying about what something costs. So I'm not talking about, do I want to go buy a Lamborghini? Do I want to go buy a jet? Do I want to go buy this? That's not what I'm talking about. I mean, I'm not saying I'd argue with that. Like, and I would say that success is if I could go out and buy like a brand new Gulfstream, right? Hire a couple pilots to run it, and then I can sit in the back instead of having to fly the thing. But you see what I'm saying? Like that is a version of success. That's another tier of success in all honesty. But it's not what I'm currently looking at success in my life right now. Success is just the ability to go to the grocery store and buy what I want to buy without stressing about what does it cost, right? If I want to get new bookshelves, get new bookshelves without stressing about it. If I want to buy a first edition book, buy it. If I want to take somebody on a trip somewhere with me, do it. If I want to go for a flight to Salt Lake or Dallas or Phoenix or Denver or I don't know, Monument Valley, whatever. Just go. Like, not worry about what it costs, not stress about the cost so much, but go and enjoy the time. Okay, that's what success looks like to me, and so it's kind of an accumulation of things. And so there's really like 4 different things. I'm going to see if I can get this camera to follow me here. Hold on. Oh, it's not listening. Okay, now it's no, still not going to listen. I love it. Anyways, so I love technology when it works for us. Like, it's great, right? And so let's see what happens. Oh, it just says no, Dan. I'm just not going to listen to you. So, anyways, I digress. My point is, I'm gonna spin this camera a little bit over here so you can kind of see my board. So I'm gonna make a few notes on this board for us right now. So there's really like 4 purposes of success in my opinion. The first one is money, right? So you got to set some kind of dollar sign for it. You've got to set something $4 because you want it to be able, like, you've got to know where that is for you financially, because if you don't set it financially, if you don't give yourself some kind of financial goal, right? Like let's say that you want $100,000 in the bank. Okay, that's a financial goal. Okay, that's something good. That's not like an annual goal. That's like saying, okay, I want to get that now. Then that's success to me, is when I have that in there. For some people, it's going to be 1 mil, right? For other people, it's going to be 10 mil, and for some people, it's going to be $1,000. Okay. My point is that we're all different. Success defines us all differently. Like, we define success differently. It doesn't necessarily define us. We define it. Okay. Now, the next thing that I want you to think about is like, what's important in your life? What are the 3 most important things in your life? Because finances, we need to have finances in order to be not necessarily happy, but like secure. So that's something. Okay. What's something else that's important in your life? Could it be health? All right, health's a great one. Health's something really good to have successful. Like, I'll be successful when I've got some good health habits. I'll be successful when I'm eating right. I'll be successful when I'm doing this. Okay. All right. So what else might be important in your life that you like deem as success? What about like let's talk about like position. So position is like what role you hold, where you are at. Are you a business owner? Do you work for somebody else? Are you a manager? Are you a leader? Are you this level? Like, I know somebody who they thought they'd be ultra successful whenever they got a leadership position. And then guess what happened? They got that leadership position and then they weren't happy. They didn't feel successful. They didn't feel uplifted or anything with it. In all honesty, it did the exact opposite to them. They got in that leadership position. They were like, oh, this sucks. I don't like this. Oh, this isn't for me, right? And then what happens, right? Then all of a sudden, they go from feeling that was success to having to rewrite what success means. And so now they're actually back on the floor working and they love it. They don't want to be a manager. They don't want to be in those situations of leadership and leading other people. Like, success to them was not being a leader. Success to me is different. Success to me is being a leader, right? So your position might be part of it. Okay, what's something else that we might get into? Like, what else do you think would make success? What about like home life? Some people see themselves successful as soon as they buy a house. Oh, I'll be successful when I have this house. I'll be successful when I get my next mansion. I'll be successful when I get this. So like our home life, I'll be successful when I'm married. I'll be successful when I have kids. I'll be successful when I have grandkids. Do you see how success changes? Right? Do you see how like it's not the same for all of us? Do you see how as soon as we start getting into like one aspect of success and as soon as we accomplish that, we should be rewriting that success so we're always wishing forward, okay? So like our home life can be different. Some people, success is married and kids. That's what success is to me, is married and kids, all right? For somebody else, it might be like single and living the life. It doesn't necessarily have to be married and kids. It's just literally single and living the life, and that's what they love, okay? So what else could be there, right? What else could we do? So we've got like money, health, position, home life. What else could we do? This is probably the biggest one, and I think that it gets pushed back the most. Okay, so it's called contribution, is what I call it. You like the way you can't even read that? It's ugly. That's because I can't spell it. Anyways, contribution is like what we do to give back to others. And that's what brings us true happiness inside. So there's like, Tony Robbins says there's the 7 keys to life, like the seven things that everybody has to have in life. And contribution is one of the last ones that people get. Okay. And it's one of the last ones they do. A lot of people contribute by like giving money to a church. Okay. That's a great one. People of faith do that all the time. But then they almost feel like they have to do it. Oh, I have to give tithing every single time I go. Oh, I have to do this. Oh, I have to give 10%. Oh, I have to do this. Like, we get totally into that. That's for a whole different topic, whole different thing. But like, tithing is yes, the Bible says to give back to God. Okay. Like, I'm not going to argue with that. That's 100% true. All right. And it totally in the Old Testament says give 10% back, right? 10% of everything, 10% of your crops, 10% of your money. You know what we take that as today? 10% of your money. That's what the church wants you to think, because you know why? Because they want you to give them money. But like, that's for a whole different aspect. I'm not saying not to give them 10%. I'm not saying to do that, but I'm saying that 10% of everything, 10% of everything that you have, not just 10% of your money. You're not just money. You're a lot more than just money. Your time, your knowledge, your wisdom, when you give back, you're tithing, especially if you do it with God in your heart. Like, that's the way it works. Okay. It's like, that's part of contribution. It's not just about money. It's also about time. It's about helping others. It's about growing. It's about learning. It's about taking those next steps forward. And so I want you to kind of think about that. Like, what does success look like to you for contribution? How do you contribute to others? And how does that make you look successful? Okay. How does that make you feel successful, not look successful? Let me like strike the words look, because we don't want to look successful. We want to be successful. All right. So when we're creating our definition of success, we want to make sure that we look at like every aspect of our life, from personal life to wealth, to work, to business, to contribution, to our faith, right? Like, all of that is part of what makes us successful. And I know you can't read it, but like, I've got some goals like right here, and they're crazy big. But this very bottom one, like, I want to just tell you what it is. So like, I've got some good goals back there. Try to zoom in, try to read it. Good luck. It's a 4K camera, so you might be able to, but like, I'm telling you that like the very bottom ones is to keep God close to me. It's like, I know that whenever I talked about success, I didn't talk about faith. That's because it's like second nature to me. And if you know me, you know that my faith is huge. You know that like, that's part of who I am. And that's part of what makes me successful, is that faith. And so today, I want to encourage everybody, as you're going through this process to define what success is for you, is to write it down. Like, literally write it down. Create your core values, 5, 6, 4, 3, 14, whatever, right? I literally have 6 core values. That's what I have. And I'm going to pull them up because they're all on our website. And I'm going to tell you what I learned. What I learned was, whenever we did our core values, okay, whenever we figured out what they were, I did not come into this and go, hey, here's what the company needs to have as core values, right? It's not at all what I did. I said, here's my core values. Let's instill them in the company. Let's instill them in our people. Because if they're important to me, they're going to be important to everybody else. So I've got like growth. Okay, Eclipse DOT is a leader in the transportation community. We help people build, grow, and scale their business to levels they have only dreamed about. Family. Eclipse DOT values family. Not only our team's families, but also the families of our community. And we know that if we don't have the support of those close to us, then we can never truly grow. Do you see how those two tie together? Community. Communities are an integral part of our lives. Eclipse DOT encourages the development and growth of communities the way we encourage the growth in our community, and through networking and making new connections. Health. Eclipse DOT encourages everyone on our team to live not only a healthy lifestyle, but also to have a healthy mindset, because our mind is the most powerful tool that we have. Fun fact, your brain makes up about 2% of your body weight, but consumes 20% of your daily calories. So eat healthy and exercise. That's like saying that like the car radio or the computer of the car consumes 20% of the fuel that your car burns. That's what our brain does for us. So the more you think, the more calories you burn. Okay, so you got to keep healthy calories in your body. Does that make sense? You can't just go eat junk. You eat junk, you're going to be junk. right? If all you do is drink soda pop and eat candy bars, you're going to look like soda pop and candy bars, right? They've got this rule with health, and there's a whole different topic, but like, I guess we're going deep anyway, so let's go into this. But they've got this whole thing that's like, when they say you are what you eat, like, it's not a lie. You look like what you eat, and you feel like what you eat. So if what you eat is slop, you're going to feel like slop, right? But if you eat like healthy, vibrant things, you're going to be healthy and vibrant. Okay, our next core value is travel. Travel adds excitement to our lives. We encourage our whole team to travel multiple times throughout the year. We also encourage our community to travel too, not only to our events, but also to fun and exciting locations. We're always, like, you can see it if you watch my social media, I'm always talking about travel. Where are we going? What are we doing? How are we getting there? How fun is it, right? Faith. Here at Eclipse DOT, we believe that God is the reason for everything. He gives us ideas, guidance, strength to continue. God is a major part of our company, our culture, and our values. We also know that it's okay if you don't believe the same way we do. We're not going to like push it on you, right? I think that that's probably one of the biggest things that we run into in life is like with faith. So many people go, "Oh, you're going to push your religion on me." And I don't care what you believe. I don't care where you go. That's your choice. That's what you do, right? That's part of my success. That's part of my values. That's part of who I am. And so I want to encourage you to take a little bit of time and like list out like your core values. List out your core values, because that's going to help you define success, okay? And we can do a whole nother podcast on core values and what they are and how they get there. And I really want to do a podcast on like hiring, because we've got this awesome hiring thing. But like that goes back into success, right? Like, people know you. They want to listen to you. Okay? The other day I taught this event. It was so cool because I was there, and this one guy, he's like, "Dude, I didn't bring a notebook. Crap." And I was like, these guys want to take notes. Like, they want to listen. You know how cool that is? When you talk and somebody's like scribbling notes down? That is like the best feeling in the world, because they're taking what you say, they're listening to it, and then they're going to implement it. They cared about what you said enough to take notes on it. How awesome is that, right? So anyways, you guys, when we get into like what success looks like, I want you to take a second and define it, okay? And the best way that you do this is after you define what success is. The next step that you need to do is real simple, okay? It is just write it down, okay? And then I got one more thing, and this is something that I do that's huge. And if I can find it real quick, I'll pull it up and read to you. I used to have it on my wall, but I had to take it off. But it was it's writing a page or two about your future life, what it looks like, how you go, how you get there, what you do. So guys, that's it. I hope you have a great day. We'll chat with you soon. And by the way, leave us a review. And if you don't like this podcast, then what the heck are you doing? Listen to it anyways. All right. Talk to you guys later.